What's up, guys? It's your boy Jhota with Casual Panic, and today I am talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I know this topic is a little bit different than what we normally talk about with video games, but I think it's a good parallel to the difference between a game like Dungeons and Dragons, which inspired a lot of today's games, and the games that we do play today. I recently had the opportunity to play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time this week, and I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. Having never played before, I was glad that there are tools like D&D Beyond to help me create my character and get set up on how the game actually works. I'm sure back in the day it was a lot harder to understand the rules and have all the different equipment, dice, and character sheets that you needed to play. I think now more than ever, you can kind of approach Dungeons & Dragons as a video game rather than a tabletop game. There are a lot of options for browser and application UIs to play Dungeons & Dragons with. But that's not really where the real fun comes from. The fun of Dungeons & Dragons comes from using your imagination to do whatever you want in a world that your DM has made. If you take a game like World of Warcraft, which I've been playing for over 14 years now, there's a world that has been built for you, which is great, but all of the quests and the activities that you're going to be doing in the game are pretty much predetermined. Sure, there is an imaginary aspect of the game, putting yourself into the world, and there are things you can do to RP with your friends while in the game, but it's not even close to what you can do in D&D. For example, in the D&D session this week, I had attempted to persuade the enemy that we were about to fight to see if they were actually an enemy before we attacked them. Of course, being a low-level character and having very low persuasion, I failed, and they basically told me to go fuck myself.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
However, just after that, my party members were able to grab and tie up this enemy instead of actually trying to kill them. If we were to try to do something like that in World of Warcraft, there's really no option. If the quest tells you to kill something, you have to kill it. There's no other choice. Having structure inside of a game is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a really, really good thing. But I think D&D gives you that outlet for your imagination to really do whatever you want. Now, technically, your DM has a campaign for you and he has a direction that he wants you to go, but you can really override that if you want to. Depending on how lenient they are, you can take their entire campaign and throw it out the window. Which I think brings up another good point, is that D&D is almost like improv.
Yeah, you thought you could get away with your little ruse, didn't you? Didn't you?
You are given a scenario as a party, and you need to improvise your way through it. The Dungeon Master is also improvising for most of the time. Depending on your actions, he or she is going to need to improv a resolution to that action. Now, more modern games and MMOs do have some improvisation to them, but it's at a much lower level, I would say. For example, in World of Warcraft, while you're raiding, there is a level of improvisation that happens when somebody messes up a mechanic or the mechanics happen at a random interval, but there is still that structure of that mechanic is going to happen and you're going to have to react to it, but your reaction may just differ slightly on every pull. I have been a huge fan of MMORPGs for my entire life, and I will continue to be, but I think something like Dungeons & Dragons is going to be a really good outlet for my imagination, and to give myself a break from playing your everyday MMORPGs like World of Warcraft. And that's about all I had to say about it for right now. I know this was a little bit of a shorter video and maybe a little bit different in terms of the topic of discussion, but as always, I'd like to hear from you guys down in the comments. Do you play Dungeons & Dragons? Are you interested in playing? And if you have no interest in playing it, I want to know that too. Why is it something that you would not want to try? And as always, if you guys like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that too and ring that bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.